and that is why we run the Bright Powder, my friends. It's a body press Slowbro, and we just Bright Powdered it, which is so clutch. And we get another forfeit. We don't even have to go through any of the other nonsense. They just rage forfeit on the Bright Powder. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is, but it's so amazing. The Bright Powder just causes rage quits. What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to keep climbing up here in the Master Ball tier, rank 3 in Pokemon Champions, up in the top 14,000 placement in the world. We got 1 day left in the season, so we're going to try and get up. I don't know where champion tier is, but hopefully we're close. Still rocking the same team. I think I'm kind of settled in on these dudes. I like this squad a lot. I've struggled with this team before, and so I'm going hyper offense to start because the Simple Beam from Audino into Chandelure is what got me last time, so I'm gonna plan around that and bring these 4, and hopefully that works out for us. So we're on another little win streak here, as you know we like to do. I kind of like this lead. I'm gonna try and just get rid of the Audino as quickly as possible. I don't really want any of their nonsense that they're gonna get up to, and I'm not too threatened by the Rotom. Even if they throw a Hydro Pump, I think we can tank it. And our Hyper Voice is just going to do work no matter what here. I'll go with the Rock Slide just in case it's Mega Audino. I thought about knocking off, but if it's Mega, that'll just sacrifice damage and we can chip some on the Rotom too. Yeah, good decision on that knockoff. I figured it would probably be Mega, and this might not even KO. I know it's super tanky, and I don't know if it's going to be a Scarf Rotom or more of a tanky Rotom or what, but this Hyper Voice is going to do work. Yeah, that's about what I expected. I'm cool with all of that. Nice, I'm fine with an Eerie Impulse. I don't even care about that. This Rock Slide might... No, I didn't think it would KO the Rotom. I think after the Sand, the Rotom might go down, though. The problem is, I actually don't really want it to go down here from the Sand, because that means the Chandelure might come in, and... Okay, that's actually good, because now I can switch out our Gardevoid with that special attack drop, and kind of set up here for the Chandelure. I'm going to go Aegislash in here to get ready in case the Chandelure comes in for a Sword Dance or Shadow Sneak or something. Now, the tricky part here is I would love to KO this Audino with Tyranitar, but I also don't really want to eat a Hydro Pump from the Rotom. I could Protect and it'll go down to Sand, but I could Protect and it'll switch out too. I think I'm just going to go with a Rock Slide. I would usually probably Protect and let the Sands knock out the Rotom, but I'm actually okay with that Encore because we were going to Rock Slide anyway, so I'm cool with that. Maybe... Oh, we outspeed the Rotom, so it's not a Scarf, and we don't knock out the Audino, but we chip it down, and I know it can heal, so that's okay. Oh, I guess we outsped the Rotom because of Trick Room. I don't really run a super fast team though, so I'm fine with Trick Room teams, to be honest. So we have like 1 or 2 turns here to either win or lose. Now they have Trick Room no matter what. Our Tyranitar is Encored, which is not bad because a Rock Slide will do good work if it lands. And I think I just need a Shadow Sneak right away. And we need to get rid of this Chandelure as quick as possible because they're going to go Simple Beam, Calm Mind, or Minimize or something. And we kind of get like 1 or 2 shots to knock them out. Shadow Sneak is good because it gets priority before any Minimize or anything, but if this Rock Slide misses or some nonsense goes on, it could be bad. Yeah, so we know what they're doing. I think they'll probably go Minimize, but we'll see. Audino avoids, but the Chandelure does not, so that's much more of a threat, and we knock out the Chandelure, so I think we're in a good place. They kind of... This strategy usually dumps like everything into that, so I think we're in a good place now. And we get another forfeit. Another forfeit. We're just keeping the streak rolling from last video. We got like 4 forfeits in the last video. Make it number 5. We're on a 4-game win streak, I think. Yep, 4-game win streak. So we got the streaks going. We got the forfeits going. It didn't increase our placement, but we're definitely not 14,000th anymore. Nice. I love it. Let's just keep it rolling here. All right, we definitely have the pieces to deal with this team. I just have to make sure I get a good lead. I'm definitely going to go with Gardevoid instead of Venusaur on this one. There's just a lot of Psychic and Fire and whatnot that I don't want to deal with. I might lead Rotom. I usually like doing that. And yeah, let's just do that. I always bring Aegislash anytime there's a Sneasler. It just completely walls them out. And it's really nice just having a complete cancel out on my team. I'll bring the Tyranitar. I don't really like it against this team, to be honest, but Arcanine doesn't really do that much either. So I just love Tyranitar. He's my boy and kind of the staple backbone of this team, so to speak. So I kind of just default to bringing them no matter what. So they do bring in the Sneasler, which means we can get something free here. If we want to switch in Aegislash, something's going to eat a Fake Out, and it's probably Rotom, like I've said. They Fake Out Rotom every time, I don't know why, but I think I'm going to go... See, the trick here is if they go with a Dire Claw straight on my Gardevoir, I have to be ready for that. I'm going to switch Gardevoir into Aegislash because it just does so much good for us. And then I'm just going to hit a Volt Switch on Slowbro and switch in Tyranitar. And if they Fake Out my Rotom, oh well, I played it safe. I can't risk a Dire Claw just one-shotting my Gardevoir on turn 1. Mega Slowbro is interesting, so that's going to be tricky to deal with, and we want to deal with it sooner rather than later. But we've got a lot of super effective hits for it. Okay, Fake Out on Rotom. We could have Psychicked the Sneasler there, but it wasn't worth the risk to Psychic that Sneasler and take that Dire Claw. So kind of a nothing turn. I'm okay with it though because our Aegislash is just sitting in here for free. We have a Focus Sash. I'm just going to get a Swords Dance, try to stat up, and get better Shadow Sneaks for the Slowbro. And I think I'm just going to stick with my Volt Switch on the Slowbro. I'm going to keep the Sneasler in here while I've got my Aegislash in. Yeah, force them to switch out. Farigiraf is interesting. I'm going to bring in the Tyranitar for sure now. Although I guess I could bring in the Gardevoir and just kind of get some damage across the board. The problem here is that the Farigiraf is going to not let me do priority on Aegislash, so we're going to have to figure out another way to get over the Slowbro. So this Slowbro is getting super set up really quick here, and I think my best course of action is to get rid of the Farigiraf with my Tyranitar and keep statting up with the Aegislash, and then once the Farigiraf is gone, we can actually get our Shadow Sneak off onto the Slowbro, and I think at that point it'll do good. We might be at +4 and they might be at +4, but that's okay. This knockoff is going to do work against Sinistcha. At least Aegislash can kind of match the Slowbro, whereas Tyranitar and Gardevoir cannot really. So we just get a free one-shot on Sinistcha. I kind of would have preferred if that was on the Farigiraf, but I'll take a free KO any day we get it, right? Not a Dark Berry, which they run sometimes. And I think my most important thing here is getting Aegislash up to +4. And that is why we run the Bright Powder, my friends. It's a Body Press Slowbro. And we just Bright Powdered it, which is so clutch. And we get another forfeit. We don't even have to go through any of the other nonsense. They just rage forfeit on the Bright Powder. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is, but it's so amazing. The Bright Powder just causes rage quits. 5 win streak, another forfeit. There we go. We're up at 12,000 now. We're almost in the top 10,000, but somehow still rank 3 in Master Ball 2. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep on pushing. Alright, at this point, I just fully believe we can't be stopped, and that confidence might be the death of me, but that's totally okay, right? We're here to just have fun, and neither of our Megas is going to have a good time in this battle. There's just not really a way around it. I need to decide what would do more good. If they lead Whimsicott, the Venusaur Sludge Bomb is always free. Same with Sarina and Milotic. So Venusaur at least does good against those 3. It's pretty good against Garchomp, but Talonflame and Gardevoid would cause it problems. Gardevoid just doesn't really do good against anything. It doesn't do bad against anything either. So that's kind of the risk we're willing to take. Gardevoir is safer. Venusaur does higher risk, higher reward. Let's go Venusaur. I'll lead Rotom. And I'll bring the Arcanine this game because we don't need Aegislash, and I'd love the Intimidate for Garchomp and Sarina and Talonflame. Does Sarina have an ability that... I don't know if their ability mitigates Intimidate or not. I don't think so. Alright, Talonflame, Sarina. Not a terrible lead. Now, the trick here is pretty much if the Talonflame wants to go for my Venusaur or get a Tailwind. And I just have to play for the Tailwind. I think it's probably what they're going to do up here, and we might be able to survive anyway. Venusaur is so tanky, and Sludge Bomb will do work on Sarina. Now, the problem here is they're going to get a good hit off on Rotom, but we should outspeed with the Scarf. So I'm going to Volt Switch Talonflame, get some damage off. It shouldn't KO, but then we can switch something in to tank the Sarina's hit better, like our Arcanine. That'll also bring the Intimidate in, which will just keep Venusaur more safe and keep them down. I don't think we'll get outsped. I mean, I guess Sarina might run Scarf, but our Rotom should outspeed here and be fine. I guess Talonflame could protect, but yeah. I felt it. I was like, that's the only thing that could go wrong here. It's fine. I mean, our Rotom might go down to Sarina, but they will go down to... Oh, they attacked Venusaur. That's totally okay. We have the thick fat, so that does not bother us. The question here is if they're going to be Focus Sashed or not, because this is going to KO. They do not have a Focus Sash. Okay, so we get a free KO on Sarina. Love that. Now, I wish I was doing Hydro Pump or something on Talonflame, but we're going to stick to our plan. Ooh, Milotic. They're just begging us to get some good hits off here. I'm going to keep banking on the Talonflame hitting a Tailwind. I would love a Leech Seed right now, but I think I'm just going to get big damage off with a Giga Drain and stick with our Volt Switch into Tyranitar this time. There we go. We got the Tailwind, so we knew our Venusaur would kind of be able to do something for free. I would love to kind of bring in Arcanine. Wow, I did not expect that to KO. I just did not expect a Volt Switch to KO. It must have been all attack and speed invested. Yeah, as much as I would love to bring in the Arcanine, the Milotic probably has competitive, so I can't risk that, especially now that they only have 2 Pokemon left, and they're just going to be sitting here. That Ice Beam is going to do nothing, and our Giga Drain is going to get a ton of health left. I couldn't have risked the Leech Seed miss too, that 90%. It hits more than you want. But we got some guaranteed healing. It's a 2-shot, although they probably have Citrus Barrier leftovers. No, I thought the Milotic would have Citrus Barrier leftovers, but we might get another forfeit here, guys. I mean, I'm feeling it, are you? Garchomp. No, they'll feel confident about that Garchomp. I don't think there's any need for me to do anything here other than Giga Drain Milotic and Protect. I don't think our Venusaur can get KO'd, and we're going to outspeed the Milotic, so I can just knock them out. Oh. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. Well, now I'm in a tricky spot because I do want to bring in the Arcanine to just keep getting this Garchomp down, but I also still don't want to proc the competitive. Wow, I think that was exactly the amount of hit points we need to survive next turn. I think I kind of need to sack my Tyranitar here, although they're not going to get sacked, really. But I need to basically take this opportunity to KO the Milotic for... I need to set up my Arcanine and my Rotom for success, and I think the best way to do that here is make sure the Milotic's gone and we don't get a competitive proc. And so I'm just going to double target. Oh wow, our Venusaur survives! We might get a flinch. Wow, we get an avoid on the Venusaur and survive anyway. That's crazy. Well, someone hopefully doesn't get flinched here and knocks out the Milotic, but if not, we're actually going to get... Nice. Yeah, we're going to be able to knock off the Garchomp, and that was pretty much best case scenario. The Milotic's gone, our Venusaur's healed up, we're going to knock off the Garchomp now, and I don't know why they pivoted to Rock Slide. They probably should have just stuck with the Earthquake. They probably got greedy and thought it would knock off or knock out the Venusaur and then get a flinch too, but so I guess it's not completely over because they're gonna outspeed both of these guys. So Venusaur's gone, that's just what it is. But the real question here is there any benefit to protecting on my Tyranitar right now? I think there is, because then I'm going to bring in the Rotom, and my thought process is basically that I'm going to bait them out into an Earthquake, and they're either going to need to decide, is Earthquake going to knock out Tyranitar but then it won't hit Rotom because it's got Levitate, or do I do something like a Rock Slide to knock out the Rotom, which probably won't knock out, and then ooh, the Tailwind's gone too. Anyways, that was kind of my thought process there, is Earthquake is the only thing that can knock out Tyranitar, but it won't hit Rotom, so Hydro Pump can miss, that's always a thing, but I mean, ideally here, Hydro Pump just... Yeah, I guess Earthquake's the best option for Tyranitar. Ideally here, Hydro Pump just outspeeds and that's game, but that's not always how it works. But it is how it works this time. We get another KO and another dub. This person made us take it to the end. They didn't forfeit, which it wasn't over. I mean, we had the Arcanine with an Intimidate if we needed it, and maybe we could have switched them in there even. But nice, that is another win. We're gonna keep it rolling while it ain't broke. We got a 6-win streak. We're climbing up to not quite top 10,000. Maybe the top 10,000 is what gets us into rank 2, but let's find out here. We're on the 6-game win streak, we're causing forfeits, we're causing problems, and let's just keep climbing. Alright, we got a little bit of new blood here on the opponent's team, not the typical suspects. I love the Scovillain, mad respect to them for running that. I think Venusaur... I just like having Venusaur for the Archaludon, literally nothing else, but it doesn't do as well against the other team. I guess it does. We'll go Venusaur. The Sludge Bomb is good against Scovillain, so that's the main reason there. My Rotom isn't great into this, which makes me sad. I could lead Aegislash and try to get an early Swords Dance and Snowball. I'm going to go with these 4. I just don't think Arcanine does that much. If the Dragonite's special especially, then no one's physical except for the Sneasler. So I think that's the best selection. We're driving fear into their hearts every time they see the win streak. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this lead, to be honest. Venusaur... I mean, Dragonite doesn't honestly run flying moves. If they do, I guess, well, Esparta's Psychic. So this is about the worst case scenario for Venusaur, and there's not really any way around that. So that's just going to have to be a switch into Tyranitar, but hopefully they double target or something, and even though they might be special... I was going to Will-O-Wisp the Dragonite, but I think I'll just break the multi-scale with the Volt Switch. Yeah, so it's Mega Dragonite special. Good thing I didn't Will-O-Wisp. I knew it would be anyway, but I can't really risk the Will-O-Wisp missing. I hate that. So I think breaking the multi-scale was probably the best case scenario there. And Aegislash can tank whatever was coming our way. I doubt it would be fire because we had a Rotom. Knew that was probably coming from a Spartha just in case a psychic move was coming our way. I had to switch, but I'm okay with the Calm Mind because nice, we get a Hurricane miss. I will take a free miss even though that wouldn't have done much anyway, but good thing we switched the Venusaur out. So I need to just knock off the Esparta here. If they protect into a speed boost and baton pass, we've already missed that boat anyway. And I'm just going to get a free sword dance with Aegislash. We've got a focus sash in case the Dragonite's got a flamethrower or something, but this is just kind of what I got to do here. And if we miss the boat on Esparta, so be it. Espatra. Sorry. All these Scarlet and Violet Pokemon I don't really know anything about. Yeah, well, we already missed the baton pass, but something is going to get knocked off and lose their item and take a lot of damage and not enjoy this. And it could be something good. I don't remember Archaludon. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't like a +1 Quiver Danced Archaludon basically, but that's okay. Honestly, our Aegislash should take it out here anyway because we have the +2 now, and we can just do a Sacred Sword into that slot next turn, and that'll be good. I say that confidently because we have a Focus Sash, so we will not, unless they outspeed double target Aegislash, which they could. I'm going to protect Tyranitar, and then Sacred Sword the Archaludon, and hope I don't get double targeted. I could have gone with a Rock Slide or something in case I did, but I did not. And so Aegislash is now going to knock out the Archaludon, which they kind of put everything into for that baton pass. So that is sweet. Hopefully they target Tyranitar here. And nice. We get an out protect, and this Archaludon is going down. Man, I love it. That's why I love my Aegislash. It counters him so well because it ignores the defense boost. So it's not over yet. We got to switch out Tyranitar and try to get rid of this rain. We really don't want to have to deal with that, and it's always good having sand on our side. I guess we can... Shadow Sneak will probably do work on a Spalthra if they bring them in, but they probably won't because of that. They did bring in a Spalthra. I'm going to switch in Rotom just because Venusaur still does not feel safe while that Espatra is around. I wonder if I'm getting baited right now because surely they don't want to eat a Shadow Sneak from Aegislash, but I think the bait is too good to take, right? And these are going to be my famous last words. Espatra is going to protect, right? It has to. It has to. I'm going stupid. Espatra has to protect here. The bait is too juicy, so I'm going to try and get a hit off on Politoed and leave it vulnerable to the Volt Switch, and then hopefully we can... Nice. Whew. I thought I was getting stupid there, but I was like, surely this is not just sitting here for me free. And it's a good switch into Rotom too, because Weather Ball hurts, but it's not going to KO, and this will just be good damage from the Aegislash. I don't expect a KO because there was no stab, but now that makes things interesting because that did more damage than I was hoping for. I think this is just pretty simple. We Volt Switch Politoed, knock it out, get the Tyranitar to bring Sand in, Shadow Sneak the Espatra, and if they switch into Dragonite, that's just a +2 Shadow Sneak on them anyway. And I don't care about that Protect because we'll do the same thing with Rotom next turn. The question is if this KOs. I don't think Espatra is tanky. Nope. Nice. I love my Aegislash. We are doing work. Are we feeling another forfeit? We are feeling another forfeit. Oh my goodness. That's 3 forfeits in this video again after 4 in the last video. That's a 7 win streak up here. finally into rank 2. Let's go. That is huge, everyone. That is huge. We are up in the top 9,000 ranking in the world. That is enough to get you into rank 2. Looks like you got to break into the 4 digits for that level. But we're on a 7 win streak. We cannot be stopped. We got to keep this thing going until we hit some kind of wall. Now this is a fun team. Now I'm ready to have some fun. Okay. Alright. We're mixing things up here. I like it because the reason I've been doing so well is I know exactly how to counter the normal meta. And this is different, and this person knows exactly what they want to do. They've already selected their team. I think I'm going to go Gardevoir just because it's a very special-oriented team, and so we'll do a good job against that. Rotom doesn't really do great, but I think I'll bring them anyway. Yeah, let's just go with them. I don't know if Aegislash is meant for this one. Alright, this was kind of my hope. Not necessarily this exact team, but I was hoping for something like this that would just let my Gardevoir fire off a Hyper Voice. I don't expect it to knock either of them out. I guess we could Mystical Fire on the Superior, but they might have a Focus Sash, so I don't think there's a point. But I just wanted a lead that wouldn't KO Gardevoir or threaten us with a one-shot, and I just love getting off free Hyper Voices. I think I'm going to Volt Switch out the Rotom and just bring someone else in, like the Tyranitar, and maybe we get a KO by double targeting the Wordeer here. Is that what it's called? I think so. Okay, it's tankier than I thought. I don't think Hyper Voice is going to KO, but that's fine. Maybe the Sandstorm will KO, so we'll bring it in and take every chip damage we can get. Oof, not a good switch. But that's why we have Sandstorm. It tanks it up pretty well. The Superior is getting going with its contrary, though, so we got to get rid of them quicker here. Good damage there with the Hyper Voice. Probably would have liked a Mystical Fire after seeing that. But they might pivot over to Gardevoir, and I think we might survive one more of those. I'm not sure if I want to protect with Tyranitar or do a switch. I think I'm just going to protect here and try to knock out the Superior real quick, because they could get scary. Nice, so they just went with the Brain Dead typical play, and I hope this knocks out, because if it doesn't, it has Contrary, and our Mystical Fire was going to raise its special attack, so really didn't want that to happen. And we got a good Protect prediction. I don't like that Hypnosis, but that's okay. This Wordeer will go down next turn to Sand, which is always nice to have. Yeah, it'll go down. I thought it might have 7% or something. And then they'll be down to 2 Pokemon, so if they're physical, the Arcanine can do good work. Oof, I was really hoping this guy wasn't coming in. Now things are tricky, because they're gonna just set up. But if they set up, they won't attack Tyranitar, so I'm gonna try and just knock off whatever item they have. Yeah, Gardevoir's still asleep. That's fine. Okay. I kind of knew that was free because I was like, either they're going to set up right now and then I'll take an opportunity to knock off their item, or they'll attack Tyranitar, and if they do, that's okay. Not a terrible hit on Gardevoir. I will take that while we're asleep for the free knockout onto Wordeer. And now we're in a 2v3. I knew this Kommo-o would give me problems. The question is, do I want to switch in Arcanine or Rotom? I think I'll go with Rotom because it gives us the option to Volt Switch back into Arcanine if we need it, and if it's a good lead, we have a good lead. So we do know that the Kommo-o is physical, and because of that, I would love to get a Will-O-Wisp off on it, but I cannot resist the Hydro Pump into Cerulege. I just can't do it. So we actually saw that our Gardevoir outspeeds. Maybe we get a Miracle Wake Up and can Psychic on the Kommo-o, but I think I just need to get this Hydro Pump off. Please don't miss. Woo! I was kind of feeling the Hydro Pump miss, but it does not, and we get a KO on Ceruledge, so if Gardevoid wakes up, that's going to be just crazy. Oh man, is this going to KO? Just give me the KO. Just end it right here. Oh man. We cannot be stopped, y'all. 8 wins in a row and no signs of slowing down. If anything, we're speeding up here. Just taking names. That is an 8-win streak into the top 7,000 almost in Master Ball tier. Rank 2. Let's keep it rolling. Well, the streak sadly came to an end, y'all. We got pretty close there in that last battle. We almost pulled it off, actually. But we got a few misses on Thunder and whatnot. But what a ride. We are up in Master Ball rank 2 in the top 7,000. And we got one more day left in the season. So we'll see how high we can get. Maybe we can creep our way into champion tier. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see the rest of the climb. And I'll see y'all in the next episode.